Hello and welcome to this video series on ImageQuant TL analysis software. In this video, we will guide you and help you get the most out of your images.
Welcome. This ImageQuant tutorial video will give an overview of the array analysis. It will help you to do quantity calibration and also to determine presence and absence. We will use an ELISA array as an example. This is a tutorial image that can be opened within the software called ELISA Plate. You find it under the menu and Open Tutorial Image. What you're looking at now is the grayscale image. In real life, the color is actually yellow. That is the substrate TMB used for ELISA. That first becomes blue and then yellow at the detection step. But we analyze the grayscale TIFF image, which is the best for quantitation. You can confirm the number of bits per pixel in the image view. In the right panel you see that it has 16 bits per pixel. The first thing to define is the grid that is used to measure the pixel intensities from the different wells. You do that by placing a grid in the corner of the plate and then adjusting it to fit the plate size. It is easy to edit the grid. You just click on the positions at the corners and drag. Note that we have reduced the well size, and in this case we can use, for example, 30%. And the reason for doing that is to avoid any optical artifacts. You can see that there are some shadows and other areas in the wells that you do not want to include in the analysis. It is also possible to edit individual wells, and you can also at the beginning decide if they should be circular or if square shaped. It's also possible to define your custom grid and export a grid and then import it later, if needed later. And once the grid is defined, then the values for the different wells is calculated automatically and displayed in the results table below the image. You can see them in this view, and it is possible then to select some wells if needed or show all wells also in the table format. This results table, it is easy to export as a CSV file, or you can copy and paste it to a clipboard or to the clipboard and then paste into softwares like Excel, for example. The next step is to go to background and decide which wells are used for background. In this case, they are indicated here towards the right on the plate. You can select one well or multiple wells. When you select multiple wells, then the average of these wells are used as the background level. You can also choose other background calculation methods. Just see the menu here that I have highlighted. But in this case, we have selected a negative control. It is possible to normalize and calculate normalized values. In that case, you select a reference well or wells and assign a scale factor. And then normalized volumes for all the wells will be calculated. So in this example, if we, for example, select this as the reference well, then you see that the normalized volumes are calculated for all other wells. But the two features I would like to show you more in detail is the quantity calibration and the presence. It is very often the case that on arrays such as ELISA plates, you have included a reference, a dilution series or some kind of a standard with known amounts, so that in each well the user has a knowledge of how much was loaded into that well. So these values you can enter one by one. In this case, you see that the reference wells were A9, A10 to D9 and D10. And once those values have been entered, it is possible then to select a fitting curve and fit all the calculation, or to recalculate all the volumes in the other wells based on that fitting curve. There are multiple curve types to choose from. In this, we recommend to start with an exponential offset, but there are also other types, as you can see in the menu. Once the curve type has been selected, it will automatically fit the best curve to the data, and you can then either copy to a clipboard, or you can always export a PDF report which will contain information about the curve used. So in this way you can include a reference standard, multiple samples with different known amounts, and use that to quantitatively determine how much sample you have in the other wells. In case you have a threshold and a known threshold when a sample can be considered to be present or absent in a well, then this is simply done by simply changing that threshold. And this is the percentage of the maximum possible volume a well can represent. So if we change that, you see that more and more samples will be set as a negative, that the samples do not contain amounts above the threshold. So that is easily adjusted by simply clicking on this flagging threshold value and dragging the mouse to the left or to the right. You can also set the threshold based on one well if needed. This concludes this video. Number crunch complete and the results look neat. Thank you.
Thank you for watching this video. Make sure to check out the other videos in this series, or go to cytiva.com/IQTL to learn more. See you in the next video.